Hallo zusammen, I'm your vlog Dave, and the Rammstein track I'm gonna dissect today is something very special in more than just one way. It's the shortest Rammstein track as of now. It's the only acoustic piece, let alone ballad on the album. And there's even more to it. And because that's the case, let's talk about track number 8 on the 7th self-titled studio album by Rammstein, and the song is called Diamant. This song is a rarity among almost all other Rammstein tracks, but apart from 2 or 3 words, Diamant doesn't include any rolled R's on singer and lyricist Till Lindemann's end. One of these few terms is a literal keyword, a centerpiece on the lyrical side of things: Herz, heart. By the way, if you want to learn more about the background of Till, the rolled R, and potential reasons why he rolls it in many Rammstein tunes, check out this video featured in the end card. The overall structure of Diamant is quite ordinary. Just like probably most songs in rock and metal, it starts with the first verse. Du bist so schön, so wunderschön. Ich will nur dich, immer nur dich ansehen. Lässt die Welt mich verblassen. Kann den Blick nicht von dir lassen. You're so beautiful, so very beautiful, or gorgeous. I only want you, always just look at you. Letting the world around me fade. Can't keep my staring or looking away from you. In a way, the German adjective wunderschön could be seen as a comparative form of schön. And even though both adjectives mean the same, and, well, also express basically a similar amount or quality of beauty, the grammatically proper comparative forms of schön are schöner and am schönsten. The other forms of this sort of related term wunderschön are wunderschöner and am wunderschönsten. Some Germans might argue that wunderschön, basically meaning wonderfully beautiful, expresses more beauty than just schön, but depending on the context, I'd say you can very well use both in an equal manner. The overall content is quite obvious. Deep, deep love. What I think is fascinating about this song lyric-wise though is that it really shines. Bright like a diamond, in its linguistic details as opposed to its basic topic. It's a love song, nothing so special, but not in a totally positive way. The indirect rhyming pair wunderschön and ansehen is something typical for many German lyrics or even poems. The last syllables of these respective terms don't mirror the exact same vowels, yet the umlaut Ö and ön at the end harmonizes with E and en in a nice sounding way. Wunderschön. Ansehen. Also, you might have noticed that the ending syllable hen in ansehen, to look at something or somebody, is sort of melted together phonetically. So if you were to articulate all syllables in a distinct way, it would rather be ansehen, but pretty much no German would verbalize it like that. That's typical for pretty much all words ending in en in German when it comes to spoken German in general, and it's not just limited to this word. So in spoken German it's rather ansehen instead of ansehen. The second to last line includes an ellipsis because the subject is missing. Wer lässt die Welt dich herum verblassen? Who is letting the world around you fade? The same is true for the last line. However, since we've already figured out that the story is told by the lyrical eye from a Ich-Perspektive or Ego-Perspektive, an ego perspective, we know enough context to understand all relations. I guess including the subject would have been a bit too bland and also wouldn't have fit das Versmaß, the meter of each line. Similar to other songs on this album, for instance Was ich liebe, the song I've also tackled before, well, this song continues with an inserted little section. Und dieses Funkeln deiner Augen will die Seele aus mir saugen. And this shining of your eyes wants to suck the soul out of me. So all of a sudden we have a shift, a perspective shift from a rather positive description of things, of a diamond in this case, and well, love and associations you could have with it, metaphors that would fit, to a more negative thing, negatively connotated things that sound quite, well, we Germans would say verhängnisvoll, fatal or disastrous. And by the way, talking about those words, we have very similar German terms as well, which would be fatal and desaströs. so almost the same. What has been comparatively subtle in the first verse becomes a bit more obvious in this section. The love interest which the lyrical eye seems to sing about gets compared to a diamond, and its Wirkung, its impact or impression on them. In a more general way, der Diamant, singular, die Diamanten, plural, can also be linked to love itself, of course. The sort of nominalized verb funkeln, das Funkeln, applies to both diamonds and the love interest's eyes. Both shine bright,
like a diamond,
and next to expressing beauty, they can also deviate or abstract you from clear thinking and reflecting on things. I guess the most fitting term here that can also be connotated both positively and negatively would be die Versuchung, singular, die Versuchungen, plural, the temptation. You're blinded by the beauty of your love interest and love in general, which subtly makes you increasingly unable to literally see clearly, to judge and to stand your own ground. This becomes even more obvious through the paradigm shift in the second line. I especially like the internal small consonant rhyme between Seele and saugen, which by the way also applies to English, soul and sucking. This opinion might get some criticism from you guys, I don't know. But honestly, I think the chorus is the weakest part of this song, in comparison to the verses, and the poetry, the lyricism in those. I mean, don't get me wrong, it totally fits the theme and the topic of the song in general, but I'd still say, well, how should I put it? I think it's a tad too direct, too offensichtlich, too obvious in a way. Anyway, it goes. Du bist schön wie ein Diamant, schön anzusehen wie ein Diamant. Doch bitte, lass mich gehen. You're as beautiful as a diamond, as nice to look at as a diamond. But please, let me go. The lyrical eye admits the strong temptation, yet it overwhelms and emotionally occupies them so strongly that they require some distance, almost like being freed from a prison cell. Grammatically speaking, we're faced with direct and equal comparisons. I've made a video about how as something and like both being comparisons translate to in German, how Germans would express these comparisons. So feel free to check it out in the end card of this video. The second verse goes, wie ein Juwel, so klar und rein. Dein feines Licht war mein ganzes Sein. Wollte dich ins Herzen fassen. Doch was nicht lieben kann, muss hassen. Like a jewel, so clear and pure, your fine light was my everything or my whole being. Wanted to frame or enclose you into the heart, but what cannot love, must hate. Of course, there would be more poetic ways to translate this, but honestly, I want to stick as closely to the original, word for word and, well, almost literally as possible for you guys. And once again, a very beautiful metaphorical poetry, I think. A transcendental philosophical term which really shows how deep and strong the affection has hit and basically has occupied not only the emotions, but also the mind of the lyrical eye, is das Sein, the being. Apart from the noun das Juwel, singular, die Juwelen, plural, jewel, it's the phrase ins fassen, which relates to the world of die Goldschmiedekunst, the goldsmith's art, where a golden frame often encloses, surrounds and holds a jewel, diamond or some kind of der Edelstein, singular, die Edelsteine, plural, the gem. Precious gems and jewels are the centerpiece of many Halsketten, die Halskette, singular, die Halsketten, plural, the necklace, and so is the heart both emotionally and physically, of course. So as you can see, it's also this song and its broad theme that is loaded with bilateral things, emotions and thoughts, reality and metaphors or imagination. Also, the difference between kann, and muss, must, shows a resulting conclusion from a situation in which the lyrical eye is pretty, well, aussichtslos, hopeless, and it shows some kind of resignation. However, since the subject isn't explicitly included, they might also try to distance themselves from this opinion, because deep inside of them, they still wanna love. Along with an increasing verbal intonation, a louder singing voice and a stronger stressing, the last chorus is a bit longer than the first one. The additional part goes, Welche Kraft, was für ein Schein, wunderschön wie ein Diamant, doch nur ein Stein. What a power, what a shine, as beautiful as a diamond, yet still a stone. Finally, the lyrical eye seemingly has found a healthy and helpful way to get away from the love and their love interest, or maybe they, well, at least figured out what is going on in general. I just, love the ambiguity of the noun der Schein, the shine. A diamond shines bright and looks beautiful therefore, but similar to a part in the Rammstein tune Spieluhr, it might also be a false and fake shine. In that song, the lyrics go, Nur zum Schein, just for show or only pretending to. So in a similar context here, the statement was für ein Schein can mean what a big beauty in a positive way or what a massive fake or lie. Really cool playing with metaphors here. So all in all, I'd say Diamant is a really cool short little ballad tune with very strong verses and a comparatively weak and, well, not overly interesting chorus. That pretty much sums up what I think about the song. Feel free to check out my other videos about several other Rammstein songs, the band members, facts about the band and whatnot in my Rammstein playlist with every single video. And of course, I'd also appreciate you guys checking out my social media channels and my support options such as PayPal and Patreon. All of those are linked in the description down below. And well, what's there left for me to say? Well, thanks for watching. I'm your Vlog Dave. Tschüss and shine bright like a diamond. Oh yeah, very bright.